Canada's up 3-0. This is so awesome. The Russians scored. It's okay. It's the 5-3. What's going on? What do you mean the Russians won? Ah! Tell me I was just having a nightmare.
Nope, that really happened. Were you sleeping in your jersey? Nah! This is rough. And if you only watch the first two periods, I apologize, but spoiler alert, Canada loses 5-3 to Russia in the gold medal game, which means the Russians are the 2011 World Junior Hockey Champions. And rather than mope and pout, let's start with a huge round of applause for the Russians, because holy mackerel did they earn it. Especially the way they won. And losing in any way is bad, but losing this way, awful. Here's what happened. 4:50 into the game, Canada starts off just the way they ended against the States, playing great hockey. Ryan Ellis blasts one home, 1-0. Assisted by Braden Shen and Calvin DeHaan, so 3 of the 4 returning guys from last year involved in this goal. Great way to start the game. And great way to end the first period. Carter Ashton makes it 2-0. I thought he had a fantastic gold medal game. First intermission, and the building is just rocking. Fans yelling, screaming, freaking out. Hold on to that thought. Less than halfway through the second, Canada continues to dominate, continues to control the puck, and Braden Shen scores to make it 3-0. Absolute stranglehold. And with 2 points in this one, Braden Shen finishes with 18 points, tying him for the most ever points in one tournament by a Canadian World Junior. Playing tough, playing hurt, and playing on a team that allegedly had no superstars, you gotta take your hats off to Braden. Canada continues to dominate for the second period, not quite in the way they were doing earlier in the game, but hey, they're still up 3-0, and then they go into intermission. And for some reason, a much more subdued crowd. 2-0 after 1, they're freaking out and celebrating. 3-0 after 2, nothing. It's almost like the crowd, mostly Canadian, knew something was up. After all, the Russians had turned comebacks into an art form at these World Juniors. And unfortunately for Canada, this game would be their masterpiece. Key moment in the game, just 2:33 into the third, Artemi Panarin scores for Russia, cutting Canada's lead to 3-1. And Canada gave the Russians nothing all game. But Russia kept fighting. They finally landed a shot, and they discovered that the Canadian beast bleeds. And amazingly, Maxim Kitson scores just a dozen seconds later, and all of a sudden Canada has a fragile 1-goal lead. Less than 5 minutes after their first goal, Vladimir Tarasenko scores, and it's a tie game. What just happened? And all the props in the world to Vladimir Tarasenko, who left earlier in the game after being accidentally kicked in the head with a skate. Things that make you go, oh! Okay, timeout Canada, time to regroup. So now Canada has to score to regain the lead. And they got Igor Bobkov at the other end of the ice, who hasn't allowed a goal this game, because Dmitry Shikin got pulled after the third goal, which reminded me of something very creepy. Last year at the World Juniors, Canada defeats the United States with Jack Campbell in net. In the gold medal game against Canada, however, Jack Campbell did not start, but he did finish and win. This year, in their first game of the tournament, Canada beats the Russians 6-3 with Igor Bobkov in net. Bobkov did not start the gold medal game, but he would finish it and win, with Panarin scoring the go-ahead goal and Dvorachensky getting the dagger. And Russia, against all odds, wins 5-3. And at the Russian end of the ice, maybe the craziest celebration I've ever seen. Can't say they didn't earn it. And at Canada's end of the ice, what might be an even worse feeling than last year. Last year, Canada with a huge comeback, and they just fall short in overtime. This year, Canada up 3-0 heading into the third, gold medal in their hand, and somehow they let it go. Very reminiscent of Canada's collapse in the gold medal game of 2004. But, if it's any consolation, it's not. Canada recovered from that humiliating defeat and came back to win 5 straight World Junior gold medals. I noticed this at the end of the second period, and Dave Cameron brought it up after the game, that Canada just didn't put Russia away when they had the chance. And like Ryan Ellis said, you don't win a gold medal for playing 40 minutes. And guys, if we're gonna be honest, this sucks. It hurts. It really stings. But we've been going with the saying, tomorrow starts today. And maybe you don't buy that, and I understand. But I think that's what separates these guys as athletes. Because they can sulk about this loss. They can just feel bad for themselves. Or they can say, wow, that sucked. And stand up, dust themselves off, and get ready for what's next. And what's next for Team Canada? Well, most of them have a different answer. But this should make for one hell of a World Junior next year in Alberta. And the journey there starts today.